Well, hello Internet, and welcome to part 15 of my How to Make Video Games tutorial series. In this part of the tutorial series, we're going to fix that collision error we were having in the last part. We are also going to create our prize blocks, make those work. I'm going to cover animation curves, sound manager, the user interface, the brick block, coins, and a whole bunch more. And like always, all of the code and the images and sounds and everything is in the description underneath the video, and I have a lot to do, so let's get into it. Okay, so at the end of the last tutorial, I told you to try to figure out why we are having this problem where we are colliding with something that isn't there. Well, actually, what is going on is whenever you put many colliders next to each other, there can be errors. It's just, where one collider will just catch on another one. And it's very easy to fix. What we're going to do is we are going to come in here, and I threw a wrapper around everything because I do that a lot, but you don't need to do that in this situation. Either way, so what I want to do is I want to come in here to our grass section, and I want to grab all of these different guys. And do I have box colliders on all of them? Yes, I do. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to remove the component from every single one of these guys. So none of the grass have box colliders now. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the empty shell that contains all of our grass, and then I'm going to add a box collider to it. So I'm going to go physics to D and box collider to D. Don't need to do anything there. And then I just need to position it properly. So we're going to zoom out of this guy, and we'll select this. And then we need to position the collider. What I'm going to do is come down here and mess around with the offset and size to get everything to work here. So let's just go and increase the size on this. And let's go and increase the offset on this, or it's going to be decreased in this situation. Let's go and bring the Y down. And what I'm doing here is just moving these guys backwards and forwards, okay? So let's bring this down to roughly in the middle of our empty shell that we have all of our grass objects in. Bring this down here and zoom out just a little bit so that I can position this. And then increase the size until it completely surrounds all of our grass objects. Something like that. Move this over here. And of course I can come in here and grab those things. And then increase the Y value as well. And there we go. So now we can come in here, and if we run it again, we are going to get rid of those collision errors. And we are going to fix this issue with our jumping as well. And also we're going to make our coins work, and we're going to make all these blocks go and break and a whole bunch of other different things. All right, so we are no longer stuck on any of these false collisions. All right, so that problem's solved. Now I'm going to go in and set up the sound manager, and I've done this many times before, what we're going to do in all the previous tutorials, but I'm going to do it here real quick. So I'm going to go create empty. I'm going to select this guy, and I'm going to rename it sound manager. Okay, so we got that set up. I'm going to select the sound manager. I'm going to come over here and go add components and come down to audio and go audio source. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go into the scripts area, and I'm going to create a new C# script, and I'm going to call it Sound Manager, of course. And if you're on Mac OS or whatever, by the way, everything here is exactly the same. All right, so I just want to always say that. So let's open up Visual Studio. Okay, so here's the Sound Manager. I'm going to do exactly the same thing that I always do with the Sound Manager. And as you're going to see, basically what I'm doing here for you is I'm creating a whole bunch of cut and paste sort of solutions that you're going to be able to use eventually to make just about any game you can imagine. So we only ever want to have one version of our sound manager. So what we're going to do is we're going to create what's called a singleton, which basically means we are going to create a single instance of our sound manager, and if anybody tries to create another sound manager, we're going to delete it and return the one that we have. So what we're going to do here is we're going to define all of the audio clips we're going to use. So I'm going to have audio clip and jump, and I'm going to have audio clip get coin, and we might add other ones at some point. And I'm also going to say rock smash, which is going to be whenever we break our blocks. And let's also come in here, and I want to refer to the audio source so that I can play my different sound effects. So I'm going to say audio source, and I'm going to call this sound effect audio. And then inside of start, this is where we are going to create the instance of our sound manager. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say if instance is equal to null, that means that it doesn't exist. Well, in that situation, I'm going to say instance is equal to this. All right, so we're going to create that. Else, if instance is not equal to this, well, in that situation, I want to destroy this game object. Okay, so that is going to guarantee that we only ever have one sound manager. Then after that, we can come in here and go audio source. I'm going to call this the source is going to be equal to, and get components, and you can just say audio source to get a hold of that component that is attached to this sound manager. And there it is. And sound effect audio is going to be equal to the source. Okay, so we have that all set up. We are not going to need update. All we're going to need is a function that is going to be callable from any other class or whatever, any other piece of code that you have. Whoops. And it's going to play sounds. So play one shot, and it's going to receive an audio clip that's going to be sent in, and then it's going to play it. And to play it, we just go sound effect audio dot play one shot and whatever the clip is. Okay, so there you go. Now you can play sounds and everything is awesome. So there's a sound manager once again. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go get our sounds. So I went and created a couple sounds here, and I have them, in the link on my website, and drag them, drop them in the sounds area. Everything's free, by the way. I mean, I don't sell anything. I sell nothing. I get sponsored by nobody. So just so you know. All right, so grab my sounds, and you can see over here, I have all of my audio clip areas. So I'm going to go sounds, and I'm going to go get coin and drag it and drop it right there. And I'm going to go jump and get it and drop it right there. Or did I grab it? No, I didn't. Okay, jump, there it is, and rock smash. Whoops, what am I doing here? Grab the sound manager once again. Well, actually, I need to grab my script first and drag that over. So sound manager, grab it, drop it right there. And you can see the coins and all that sounds and all that stuff's there already. And then I'm going to go sounds, and I'm going to go and get rock smash and drag it and drop it right there. Okay, so there's all my sounds, and they're attached to my sound manager. Fantastic. So we got all that set up. Now what we're going to do is make our prize block work. So what prize block am I only have one prize block. So I'm just going to select it right here in the scene area. So there's the prize block. And I'm going to need a couple things here. I'm going to need a box collider. So let's go physics, 2D, box collider. What else am I going to need? I'm going to need a rigid body. So I'm going to go physics, 2D, because I want to animate hitting the prize block and it bouncing. So I'm going to go rigid body. There it is. Click on that. This one's going to be kinematic. And the reason why is it's only going to move in one way, and that's it. We don't really need to control it otherwise. So we're going to click on it so that that is set. Then what we're going to do is we're going to create another script. So let's go in the scripts area here right there. Right click and C# script. And I'm going to call this prize block. And open it up. And here's the prize block. All right, so I want to add an animation effect to this so that whenever the prize block is hit, it jumps up in the air. How you do that, or one way you can do that, is you can go public AnimationCurve. I'll just call this animation or whatever. And what else am I going to do with this? Well, I am also going to allow the user to define how many coins are stored inside of this. So I'm going to say coins in block, just like Mario. And it's going to be 5. All right, so we got coins in block. What else am I going to do with this? I don't know right now. I'm not really certain. Kind of programming this live if you're unaware of that. All right, so what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to go and set my animation curve first. So let's come over here, and we will get our prize block. This is this guy right here. So prize block. I have a prize block empty, but I didn't put it inside of there. I could drag it and put it inside of there. Why not? Okay, so now it's inside of there. Okay, so I got that selected. Now what I'm going to do is get the prize block script, drag it over here, drop it inside of there. And you're going to see right here, this is going to allow me to define how my animation is going to work. So I'm going to click on that. And you're going to see the way that we're going to be able to style my animation. Now, what I want to do with this animation was whenever Manny hits it, I want the block to sort of jump up real quick and then fall down real slow. How do you do that? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to select this guy right here. So I want it to jump up real quick to the highest part. So I want it to jump up one space in transform, jump it up that one area, and then I want it to sort of smooth out. So I'm going to take this at about like, I don't know, it's up to you, whatever looks cool to you. So let's add that. And then I want it to come back to where it was. So right here, and there you can see it's on 1 and everything's exactly the same. And you can play with this all you want and try different things, but that's the animation right there. Okay, so cool stuff. And that's how we do a little animation inside of Unity. And that actually reminds me of something else. I'm going to need a user interface, because whenever we click on this or jump and hit this prize block, we're going to generate coins, which means that we're going to have a score. So let's go create, and I'm going to go UI text, and that's going to create text area and also a canvas area. I'm going to select this. Well, let's just double click on this. Whoops. There it is down there. You can see a quick way to get to whatever thing you're trying to work with. But either way, I'm going to select it, and I'm going to call this score. So there it is. It's called score now. Go back into my canvas selection, and I'm going to mess around with a couple different things here. I'm going to go screen space camera, and the reason why I'm doing that is I want the UI elements to move as the camera moves on the screen. Otherwise, they'll like fall off the screen, which is, you know, would look stupid. So let's grab this, grab it over here, and drop your camera right there. Fantastic. Let's jump back over here to score and select that guy. And let's change a couple different things. I want this to be Arial bold, and I don't know what I want the size to be. I'll see in a minute. And the color, I know I want that to be white. So let's go and select that. There it is. Now it's white. And like I said, if you double click on this, it's going to take you right to it. And you can see it's kind of blurry. We're going to fix that. Don't worry. Let's go back, select canvas again. Okay, so now what you need to do is go and get your text, which is down here, and move it into a position so that it shows on your screen. So I'm just going to grab it, and I'm going to drag it up here. Let's go and move this down a little bit and see how we can position this. I'm just going to have it be a 0, though. So I'm going to come in here and just change this to a 0, and let's go and play it and see what it looks like. And you can see it's right here, really, really little. It's messed up. Okay, so let's move it into it. This is basically just a guessing game to make this lay in here right. I'm going to increase the size of my text, and I'm also going to increase the height on this. Let's change this to 50 or something. Okay, so it's getting bigger. Let's have it be something like 40. That looks about right. And then I'm going to drag it and sort of try to position it. I personally don't understand why you can't lay it in here to get this to work, but this has always been the way that it's been, at least lately with Unity. Okay, you can see it's right there, so we want to move it over and then up a little bit. All right, so move it over here. Everything has little quirks, and if you guys know how to fix that, please tell me in the comments. I'll be very appreciative. And move it up there and see where it lands. And now it's off the board, so let's move it down a little bit. And there it is. Okay, so there we have our score. Now what we're going to need to do is go in and change the score and play sounds and all that other stuff. So to do that, we're going to go and double click on our prize block. And here we are. So what are we going to do? Well, we are going to need to track for a collision. And how we check for a collision from Manny into our prize block is we create a function called onCollision, enter 2D, and we're going to receive what collided with our prize block, and then we're going to react to it. Now, the very first thing we want to do is we want to make it so Manny can jump on top of the blocks, but also if he hits the bottom of the block, it'll react. So it's going to ignore any strike upon this block unless it's at the bottom of the block. Well, how you can check for that is you can go, well, what did we collide with? And then check if it collided with the bottom of our block or not. So point y less than transform position y. And the transform position y is the prize block's y. So we want to see if the contact with the thing that contacted us, or Manny, when he jumped up, we want to check if his y point is below the y point for our transform. And if it did, well, that means that he struck the bottom of our prize block. So we want to allow that. Then what we're going to do is we are going to create a coroutine, and that's going to allow us to pause things. So you'll see. So I'm going to go start coroutine, and I'm going to call it run animation. And then we have to create that guy. And let's just go create it right here. Now, all of these coroutines need to return an enumerator, and we called it run animation. And what we're going to do here is we are going to use the animation curve we defined for moving the block up and down, and we're going to make it work. To do so, we have to very first go and get the starting position for our prize block. So I'm going to say transform position so that we can move it back into its other position. Then we're going to cycle through all of the different keys in our animation curve so that we know how many y values to move the block up and then back down again. So we're going to go for float x is equal to 0 while x is less than, and get our animation that we defined with that little curve. And we want to get the length of it -1, and then time, because it's over a period of time, we're going to be cycling through this stuff. And then we are going to increment x based off of the passage of time so that it moves in time, just like we expect. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go transform position is going to be equal to new vector 2, and we're going to use starting position x, and let's go down to the next line, starting position y plus, and we want to get our animation change, and how we do that is we go evaluate x and then close that off. Then what we need to do is we need to yield back. We want to continue looping at the next update period, which is going to be based off of your frame rate. And how you do that is you go yield, return, and null. Okay, so we'll come back up inside of here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to check if our block actually contains any more coins. So we're going to go coins in block, and if it's greater than 0, well, then we know that we can continue spitting coins out. So one thing I want to do is each time we spit out a coin, I want to call the sound manager to play a sound. So I'm going to go instance and play one shot, and then to play that specific sound we go sound manager instance, and we want to play the get coin sound. So there's that guy. What else do we want to do? Well, we want to increase the score in our text components, and that is going to be increase text UI score, and this is a function, another one of those functions that I use all the time. I'm going to create it here in a second. And then I want to also coins in block, I want to decrement that by 1 value. Then we're going to come down here and create increase text score, and we can just come down here and get rid of all this stuff. Boink, gone. All right, so then we're going to go void increase text score, and how this is going to work is it is going to find the score UI component. So I'm going to go var text UI component is equal to game object find, and we called it score, remember, on our screen. And then I'm going to say get component text, and that's how we're going to be able to get the value that's stored inside of it and also change it. So then we're going to go and get our score right here is going to be equal to, and I'm going to call int parse. We're going to convert from a text object to an integer. So we'll get the text from that component and convert it into an integer. We're going to then increase the score by a value of 10 because that's how much we want the coins to be worth. Doesn't really matter. Then I'm going to go text component text is going to be equal to score, and we have to turn it back into a string whenever we update the user interface. And that is all we need to do. Now we can jump over and test it. All right, everything looks okay. Oops, nope. Prize block error. It says the type or namespace text could not be found. Oh, I forgot to call for the Unity engine UI. So I'm just going to come up here. I do this all the time. I'm going to go using Unity engine.ui. And there it is. Now it'll work. All right, let's run it, see if it works. There's Manny. Hey, look at that. But my score's not updating. Why isn't it updating? I don't know. Let's go and fix that. When does it stop? No, it isn't stopping. All right, so what did we do wrong? We'll fix it. Well, one thing, I forgot to call this score. I thought I did, but I guess I didn't. So let's call that score, and that should work. Let's go test it. And run over here. And there it goes. Aha. And that fixed everything. Okay, so now we're jumping and hitting the block, but it's not giving us any more coins. All right, so there we go. Our prize block is working. The sound's working. The score change is working also. Might want to change that from that. Let's increase the size of it or something. All right, so let's go and change it to 1.2. Now let's go a bit bigger. Let's go 2 and 2. Try something like that. Let's run it again. And it's okay. That looks a little bit better. So let's change it there. Let's zoom out a little bit, and then let's grab this guy and move it down a little bit. Something like that. And there's our score. All right, that looks a little bit better. Sort of, kind of. I don't know. Okay, so we got our scores set up. Our prize block is working, and now we want to make our brick blocks work. Let's zoom out of here, move in there, and zoom in. You know, something weird happened. This is going to happen to you all the time. All right, so you're going to see, well, not all the time, just randomly. Okay, you're going to see that I can see my scene here right now, but as I zoom in on it, it turns gray. How you can fix that is to come up here and just right click and then go add tab and scene and create dip. See, it's back now. And then just come up here and delete this scene. Not sure, just a weird little bug in Unity, but that's how you fix it. So just so you know, something that will come up eventually. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go and fix our brick blocks. We're not gonna change this one, but we're gonna change these three. So what we need to do is we need to select all three of these brick blocks. There they are. Let's go and just get which ones we need. So we need this one, and this one, and not that one. So let's go and select all of them. Well, actually, let's go and select every single one of them because we are going to want to add collisions to all of them. So we're going to come over here and go add component and physics 2D and box collider. All right, that's all we need to do for those. Then we want to set it up so that whenever Manny jumps up and hits one of these on the bottom, that they're going to explode. And we're going to go and throw a different sprite on that. And that sprite is going to be this exploded block, okay? So we're going to go in here and create a new script. So right click on this, create C# script, and we'll call this brick block. There we are. And let's open it. There it is. And let's jump back over to Unity and drag it and attach it. So once again, we're going to select just the blocks that can be hit from the bottom, which are going to be these three right here. And then we're going to go and get our brick block and drag it down and attach it just to those guys. Then open up brick block again. Okay, so here it is. So what are we going to need to do with the brick block? Well, I'm going to need to change my sprite because I want to change it to the exploded sprite, and you use sprite renderer to do that. I'm going to also define in a public way the sprite that we are going to change into, and I'm going to call that exploded block. I'm going to define again in a public changeable way in the inspector a period of time to wait before switching sprites, and I'm going to call that seconds before sprite change, and I'm going to set that to 0.2f for now. Don't know what it's going to be. Another thing I want to do, sometimes we have problems with the sprite renderer, and we want to make sure that whenever this is first created that our sprite renderer is set up. So I'm going to do that inside of Awake. I'm going to go get component, whoops, not get hash code, you get component and sprite renderer, and there that is. And then I'm going to handle the collision. Don't need start or update for being able to do this. I can just come in here and go void on collision, enter 2D. We're going to do exactly what we did before, well, slightly different. And we're going to go collision 2D. And then inside of here, we're going to check that it hit on the bottom once again, just like we did before. So here we'll go contacts point.y, exactly the same as what we did for the prize block. Transform position. This is going to be comparing the Y position for the brick block to Manny's. Once again, we're going to call for our sound manager to play a sound. So sound manager instance, play one shot, and then call the sound manager and tell it exactly which of those sounds we want to play. It's going to be rock smash. Got that set. Then we're going to change the sprite for our brick block to whatever the exploded block is set for. We're going to wait a fraction of a second then, and then destroy the brick block altogether. And we call destroy object, game object, which is going to be the brick block, this brick block, and then seconds before sprite change. And that's it. That is so simple. That is all we need to do. So we got that all set. Back over in Unity, and we're going to select our brick blocks. All of those are the same. The amount of time before we change and all that. And then we're going to get our sprite that we're going to change to. That's exploded block. Drag it, drop it right there. Save it and run it. Watch how cool this is. All right, and Boom. Okay, so those work also. Very cool. And we're going to fix the jumping sort of issues that Manny has here in the next part of the tutorial. Okay, so we got that all set. Now we're going to make the coins work. So how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to select our coins. There's the coins. They're hidden inside of here. So let's just select every one of them. We are going to add a collider to those. So physics 2D and box collider. We could have a circle collider. Let's do a circle collider. It doesn't really matter. All right, so they're all surrounded with circles because they are circles. Makes sense. And what are we going to do? We're going to create a script that is coins. So create C#, and we'll call this coin. Get out of there, and a little open coin and make everything work. All right, so we're inside of here. What are we going to do? Well, we are going to go and create our collision function. So to do that, we're going to say void. Actually, we're going to do so many things the same. Let's jump over here. There's the prize block. We're going to get this guy right here and copy it. And we will jump over. Where is our coin? Oh, there it is. Oh, I see that it's in assets script. Let's go fix that right now. So let's go and close that and jump back over there. Save changes. No. All right. Jump back over into the Unity and select assets. Where did it go? I don't know. Well, there's coin. I don't know what was going on with that. Let's open up coin again. Okay, there's coin. Don't know what was going on with that. Either way, it's going to be fixed. All right, so let's paste this in here because we need this guy. And let's go and close off this curly bracket right here. So what are we going to need for this? Well, we're going to need to play a sound and then increase the text score and then destroy the coin. So let's jump back over into the prize block once again. We're going to have to play a sound. Great. And we're going to have to increase the text score. There we go. Copy that. Jump back inside of here, paste that inside of there. Get coin is what we are going to play, just like we did before. Increase the text score, and then we are going to destroy the coin. So we'll say destroy game object, and there that works. And now we need to get increased text score UI. Jump back over into the prize block again, and where is it? There it is, increased text score UI. Select it, copy. Jump back over inside of here, jump down here, paste it inside of there, doing the same thing over and over again. That works perfectly fine. And that's all we need to do to make our, oops, nope, remember this? Here, see, text, it's saying I need to do bring in this Unity Engine UI. So there it is. Let's go and get it automatically, and it's up here. There it is. All right, super. Save it, jump into Unity, and check it out. So here we are, and let's run, and we'll check everything, make sure it works. Coin block works. Awesome. I'm going to fix that jump here next time. Whee! Oh, you silly thing. And I don't know why, Manny, you need stronger. Okay. So let's jump up there. See, I got that. I'm going to jump up on top of here also. Whoops. I didn't get my coin. Why didn't I get my coin? I know why. Did I not save it to the coins? And that's what I did. So let's select all of our coins. I do silly things all the time. Grab our coin script, drop it in there. So now it's there. Save it, run it again. And let's go for it, Manny. And you can see they went and changed. And the blocks break also. All right. So super awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial series. Like I said, in the next part, I'm going to try to make Manny jump a little bit better. And also, we are going to add enemies. So like always, please leave your questions and comments below. Otherwise, till next time.